Welcome back. It's day 2 of Vlogmas. And after my little intro video for the first day, I thought that another good video topic for the early part of the month would be my goals for December. At the beginning of this year or end of last year, I honestly can't remember when it was, I did something new that I had seen on TikTok, which is making like a bingo card of your goals so that as you achieve things, you're also sort of playing a game, which I thought was fun and just different and like a more visual way to keep your goals in mind. And also like, I don't know, I just thought maybe it would make it feel a little bit more lighthearted. But something that I realized after, this is my first time ever doing it, and something that I realized as the year began is that a lot of the goals that I had for the year were not going to be achieved until the end of the year. Like it was just by nature of things that I wanted to achieve, it just wasn't going to happen until later on in the year. And so the beginning of the year, I just like wasn't as motivated because I really wasn't checking off many things. Now that we're close to the end of the year, I've checked a lot of things off. I have not gotten a bingo yet, but I'm close. I honestly don't know if I'll get one by the end of the year, but we'll go over that later this month. And so last month I decided that it would be kind of fun to have like a mini one for each month. And hopefully that would help me like focus on what I was working towards, but also be able to feel like I was achieving things each month that were like smaller goals. Some of them are just like really, really small, kind of silly things, just to make the idea of the bingo card more fun. So that is what I've done. I just started in November and now I've made one for December too. So I'm gonna go through some of the goals for December. Some of them are like silly personal things that I don't think are worth spending much time on. So I'm not gonna do every single one, but I'll go through some of the highlights that I think you might be interested in. The first one on the board is actually 5,000 YouTube subscribers, which I had picked before I decided to do Vlogmas. And actually having that on the board was part of what inspired me to do Vlogmas this year, because what I like about these goal boards, and I guess this is obviously something that can happen with just a regular list of goals or however you write them out, but I liked that it was going to help me focus my priorities week to week, day to day, because that's something I always struggle with. And I felt like if I had these goals that I knew were the like 20 most important things for me that month, that it would help me decide each week, what am I working on this week? Instead of just like following along with like whatever urgent thing needed to be done. So the first one being 5,000 subscribers, that's something that's on my, I think that's on my larger bingo card, and I wanted to, or like, I think maybe 10,000 is even on the larger bingo card for the year, which I don't expect to get there. But again, referencing that in making these smaller month to month goal sheets, it helped me be like, oh, well, one of them should be on the path to 10,000. So I put 5,000 there, and I thought to myself, like, what am I gonna do to get to 5,000 subscribers? Because I have to do something different than what I'm currently doing, because there's no way my growth pattern is gonna get me to 5,000 by the end of the month unless I do something different. So that's why I decided to do Vlogmas this year. So it's already kind of working in terms of like focusing my tasks and my plan for what I'm gonna be doing in different areas of the business. Another one is 12 Instagram posts for the month. Now, I know I should probably be doing more than that, but I am so bad about posting on Instagram, especially actual posts. I feel like I'm decent about my stories, but actual posts I'm so bad on. Like, I feel like I'm doing 1 to 2 a month up until now. And I actually had this on my November list and did not get close to 12. I think I maybe had like 5 or 6. So I just pushed it on over to the next month because I also want to grow my reach on Instagram as organically as possible. And I'm not sure why I think that's gonna happen if I'm not posting regularly. So that was another thing where it's like, okay, if your goal is to have more followers on Instagram, how is that going to happen? And so this goal is challenging myself to post more often and see what that does. It might not do anything, because I know that there are people who are posting regularly and not seeing growth because the algorithm keeps changing, but it's something that I at least need to try and push myself to do and then get the feedback from how that goes. I also have a square on here that is finalizing my full moon kit, which is an idea I had months ago. I think I had this idea over the summer or maybe even like late spring and just have not executed yet. But I want to have a subscription box, which is a full moon ritual kit. It's just basically like a candle, bath salts or a bath bomb, something to like, you light the candle, you take a bath or a shower, maybe like a hybrid bath bomb shower steamer, and then also like a little notebook to write down your intentions for the month. Just something that I think people will enjoy in terms of like a reminder of focusing your goals for the month. It's kind of funny talking about it now. I hadn't like made the connection between me doing these like goal sheets for the month and how much joy I've gotten out of doing that and this ritual kit. But I personally just really enjoy anything that helps me focus in on what I actually want to do instead of just feeling like you're on this hamster wheel. I think it's really easy to be someone who's just like trying to keep up with their life because there's so much going on all the time. No matter where you live, what you do for a job, what your family looks like, I just feel like that's a really common feeling. And I thought that like something I could contribute to helping with that would be like this full moon ritual kit, because I just think it'd be really fun. And I think a lot of my audience would also be interested in something like that. I think that like little dose of like spirituality or astrology or whatever you want to think of it, it would be a good match. But I just keep putting off the launch of it, and I really want it to be something that I launch in the new year. And what's also important with that is that when I do this big Renegade craft fair in the middle of December, I want flyers with like a QR code announcing that it's coming, and the QR code can send them to a place to sign up with their email address to be notified when it's launched. So I don't really want to order the flyer until I've finalized the general idea of what's going to be in it, so that it's not misleading in terms of like what they're signing up for or like what they're going to be notified about. So that's why I want to finalize the idea around it in order to do all those other things. But I don't know, there's kind of a lot to think about. And so I just need to do it. And that's why it's on this month's goal sheet. I also have a square that is watching 3 SEO videos. And what I mean by that, I talked in another video of mine, the one where I talk about getting into the YouTube Partner Program. And one of the things that I think held me back from getting there sooner, because it took me like 2 years, is just like no real knowledge of SEO. Like I understand the concept of SEO. I understand what falls under the SEO umbrella, but I just get like so overwhelmed by the idea of doing SEO well. And I think because I want to do it well, that has stopped me from even just like playing around with it at all. So the watch 3 SEO videos means me seeking out like 3 qualified videos from experts in this category about what to do with SEO. Specifically, I mean that in regards to my YouTube content, but I'm sure that that will spread to other social media outlets that I use. And I don't know, I just need to know more about it. And I felt like this was a really attainable step on the path to knowing more, was just like watching 3 really good videos about it. So I feel like I should be able to do that. I don't know. Sometimes the ones that seem really easy, I end up not doing anyway, but we'll see. Feel free to, if you know of any YouTubers or like people that you follow that you really love on this topic, please comment below so that I have a place to start my search and I'm not just going in totally blind. Another really big one that I absolutely need to do, and I probably need to do it soon because I want to do it before the end of the, I want it to happen before the end of the month, is asking for Faire Reviews. So if you are familiar with Faire, it is a marketplace for wholesale goods, and I really started putting effort into it over the summer, and I've really enjoyed my experience with it. I want to keep growing through that avenue. One of the milestones you can hit on Faire is being what's called a top shop, and that it like adds a little banner in your product photos that says top shop. And I saw it when I was scrolling through, and I wasn't sure how you got that. I sort of assumed it was like sales related, but there's a few different criteria you have to meet in order to be a top shop, and I've hit 3 of the 4 of them, and this happened to me last quarter too. Every quarter you can qualify for it, and the 4th criteria that I keep missing out on is you have to have 4.5 stars or above, and I just have 0 reviews, period. So even though I've worked with a handful or more than a handful, like I've worked with a good amount of brands, and I feel like I've had a good relationship with some of them, they just haven't left a review, and I think they probably don't realize that how much of a difference it would make for me. But really what I need to do is just send a message to some of them that I like the best and ask for a review. I hate doing that because I just like feel uncomfortable asking for stuff. But I know that that's silly. Like, these are businesses who want to support me. They're buying my products. Like, it's not that hard to write a review. And I definitely need to do that because the next time to qualify is by December 31st. So if I don't meet that rating criteria by then, I have to wait a whole nother quarter to try and reach it. So that's a big one. Another big one that I'm excited about, but definitely intimidated by, is 3 Pinterest ad campaigns. So I had on my goal sheet for November to have 1 Pinterest ad campaign just to like really dip my toe in the water. And even though December, I don't really feel like I'm struggling with sales because it's my busiest month, I want to start experimenting now because the beginning of the year is much more slow, and even over the summer is pretty slow. And I'd like to use this goal sheet as a way to like push myself closer to the goals that I have, which is being more knowledgeable about Pinterest ads when I really need to know about them. So now I want to run 3 different ads. It's tough because you have to pick like a daily spend. And the advice that I got from the Pinterest ads expert is that you should really run each ad for a month. And, you know, picking a daily spend of like $3 to $5 doesn't sound like a lot, except that you have to multiply it by 30 for each ad. And you're not really sure if you're going to actually get any sales from any of them. So it's kind of an expensive learning process, but I also know that this is just something I need to figure out because it just doesn't seem like we're in an era where free advertising is gonna come that easily. I think that there were certain like pockets of time with blogs or social media or whatever where you could make a lot of sales without spending any money. And there are still people who do that, but I don't know. That's not one of my skills. And I think I'm gonna have to start figuring out how much of my budget can I spend on ads in order to make sales goals. So this is one of the things, I feel like Pinterest ads make the most sense for the type of business that I have, and they feel the least overwhelming in terms of targeting and content and all of that. Because with Pinterest, I feel like a lot of it is the imagery as opposed to like figuring out the whole message. So I don't know, I'll keep you guys posted. I might make a video later in this month about my Pinterest ad journey, even though it's very small, but perfect for a Vlogmas video. So I don't know, we'll see. Let me know if you want to see more of that. And something else I also want to do that this might get pushed to January just because it's a lot. It's a lot to do this month, but also if I do see a lot more traffic because of Vlogmas, I do want this updated, and that is just updating my YouTube page. I think that there's a lot of stuff that I should be doing. I mean, there's always stuff that you should be doing that you're not doing, But in regards to YouTube, I need to be working on my banner and my profile picture, and I need to be working on some playlists so that there's a way to sort of like organize my content for new people who are coming to my page. So that one is kind of vague, and I basically just get to decide if I feel like I deserve a check for that box, because it's not super specific. It's probably not the best written goal, but it's something that I know I want to keep in mind. And the point of these bingo cards is to focus my weekly task list. And this is a good one where like looking at that square reminds me like, oh, I need to finish a banner image, or like, oh, I need to make a playlist for the Vlogmas videos, or whatever it is. So that's what that square means. And there's also just a few general content goals. 3 email blasts. I have been severely underutilizing my email list, even though it's a really small email list, but I do feel like at the very least I get engagement from people. Like I do see them responding to the emails, or every once in a while I'll send out an email and get a sale right after. And I do think it's worth the effort. I just get really, I don't know, I get easily overwhelmed by emails and designing them and writing the content and trying to decide what is worth an email, because I really do, I get so much spam in my inbox that I don't want to be contributing to that for other people. So I want it to be worth the email open. And because of that, I put a lot of pressure on myself and then end up, I don't know, pushing it off. So that was on last month and I hit it. And so I just want to keep pushing it to the next month. That'll probably be like a reoccurring one for me, because it's something that I want to stay a priority, but it's also kind of easy for me to attain when I'm reminded of it. So it makes for like a good monthly goal, because it is both important and easy to do. So yeah, that one I'll keep rolling over. And then also I have 3 reels as a goal for the month. This was also a goal last month. I do not do nearly enough short form video content. I love doing this stuff, obviously, but I definitely want to figure out and be more creative about how I utilize short form video content. It's not going anywhere. It's very popular no matter what outlet you're on, really. And so that continues to be a goal of mine too. So those are sort of the highlights for the month. There's other stuff on there, obviously, that is just like small stuff, like try new recipes and, you know, things like that. But I wanted to highlight the business focused ones specifically in case you yourself are someone who also sets regular goals and want some inspiration or ideas. This is what I've hopefully got going on for the month. It's really easy to get sidetracked. So I do like the idea of having something to help me focus. And I also like the bingo card aspect of making it kind of pretty in a visual sense. And so I pick like a fun image for each goal that sort of relates to it. And then it's something that's pleasant to look at. I put it on the homepage of my Milanote, which if you are someone who uses Milanote, you'll know what I mean. But if not, maybe I can find time to give you guys a little tour of that. It's a new sort of like project management software that I've been using. I really like it. And so it just sits on the homepage and I see it multiple times a day. And it not only inspires me visually, but helps me focus my goals. I know people feel like strongly about different methods or whether or not to even do it. And so I'd love to hear how you guys do this for yourself, either personal or professional, because it's always, I just like really get inspired by other people's methods. So definitely let me know about that, and I will see you tomorrow.